Good afternoon, welcome to Yarn Lane. I know it's a completely different channel from a completely different... No, it's ours, but do you know what? It is so popular. I cannot tell you how popular this hour has been. We just do Yarn Lane on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday normally. And it's all things yarn. It's all things sewing and knitting and everything like that. So I'm here with Sam, but I'll introduce you in a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the kits that are available in this hour, and then Sam will do a masterclass covering little bits of each one. Now, what we're not doing is each show, we're not starting as this is how you put it on a hook, this is how you do this. We're showing different skills. So all the different skills will be, and basically it's like on YouTube, it's like Sewing Street. Everything will go on the Yarn Street YouTube. So if you want to look up how to thread up a crochet hook, I don't know if you call it thread up, it'll all be there. Anyway, let's get on. Look at these. Right, I've got this in 3 different colorways. This gorgeous Dreamcatcher. Right, this colorway must be rainbow. Righty-ho, but I don't know how. Oh, yes, I've got it. Right, so to make this, here's the kit. Right, you get everything in here except your crochet hook, right? So you get, oh look, you get the hoop, you get the gorgeous baby balls of yarn, you get the instructions, you get Sam's card, and you get beads, colourful beads. All of that for $24.99. Oh, right, now remember the number. Right, so if you're on the website, it's Yarn Lane website. Or now the phone number is a different phone number to Sewing Street, remember? It's here, 0800 4700 600. 0800 4700 600. It's still the same. It's around the corner. It's still free. It's UK based, so it's fine. But you can ring to order as well. You can ring to order. So that's the rainbow one. Gorgeous colours, aren't they? Then I've got, now you will see the other coloured ones in a minute because Sam's got them. We have got, which colour would you like to do next, Hannah? Blue is this one. Now, I could. Oh, they're gorgeous colours, aren't they? Oh, and all the beads are blues and greens as well, look. You will see that made on Sam's table in a second. Full instructions. And this is crochet. This is crochet. 1 stick crochet, 2 sticks knitting. That's what I've learned so far. That's crochet. We don't do 3 sticks. Okay, then I've also got the Dreamcatcher in pink. Pink, it's called sunset pink even. And what I might do is, oh no, hang on. Oh, nice. Look at the colours in there. So you get the pink beads, all the pinky yarns, the hoop, and full instructions, and this gorgeous little calico bag. Gorgeous. So you've got, and also once you've made it, you've then got the instructions forever, haven't you? Because you get those in there. So that is the Dreamcatcher, right? Now something completely and utterly different is this gorgeous bowl basket. Now, there's enough in the kit to make 1 big one like this or 2 of the smaller ones that you'll see in a minute on the other table. Oh, this is lovely. Now, this is the one. Is this the one made from recycled disco t-shirts?
Something like that.
Recycled t-shirts, right? Now, we had a row this morning because Hannah thought they went out and got hundreds of t-shirts of this colour to recycle them, and then hundreds of the pink one. They have to dye it, don't they? They have to dye it to that colour. Anyway, it's recycled. It's recycled. So which colour would you like to do first? Oh, I'll tell you what I didn't do with the last one is a crochet hook. But we'll talk about crochet hooks in a minute. Right, so this is mint. This is this one. Or is it? No, that's not mint, is it?
Yeah, you had it right, that one.
Yeah. Just that looks a different colour in there, look. Okay, right, okay, because it's recycled, the colours, we can't guarantee what, because look, that one's a slightly different colour. No. Right, okay, you won't get a completely different colour. You get a massive ball of hooked spaghetti. It's called spaghetti. I'll get Sam to describe all of this to you. There's a full instructions there and everything you need in there. So you just get the instructions and the big ball of yarn. Oh no, recycled t-shirt. Is it still called yarn? It's a recycled t-shirt. So that's the mint one. Colour next. Grey. Oh, this is nice. You will see these colours on the other table in a second. The big ball of... Do you still call it yarn if it's made out of... Yes, it's still yarn, but it's made out of recycled T-shirts, plus the pattern there. Now, the pattern must have different size baskets in them, because I can see she's got smaller ones over there. Okay, this is £34.99. And then Hannah's favourite, because she used to have a colour, this T-shirt, this colour. So in here could be one of Hannah's old disco T-shirts. So you get the yarn and you get the instructions in there, £34.99. We'll talk about crochet hooks in a second, because obviously that will be a completely different crochet hook to that one there. Then, last but not least, oh, well, I would call this an infinity scarf, but you call it a cowl.
You're right.
A cow. I'm in double denim, apparently. I'm like, oh, yes. Oscar Wilde or something like that. In your own time. Yeah, in Paris. Yeah. Right, okay, what colour's that one then? Denim. Okay, so look, you get 3 balls of yarn and the instructions. These are all crochet, aren't they? We're all doing all crochet. Oh, lovely colour. Double denim, Hannah's calling that one. £34.99. Yeah, it's just called denim on the packet, that's all. Right, okay, then, what other colour have I got here then? Raspberry. Oh, a Raspberry Riot. They've given me some words off the bag here. You know. Oh, isn't that the most gorgeous colour? You will see that made up in a second. I've got a shirt that colour, actually. It's in an advert now. Notice they've cut me up in an advert wearing my shirt in that colour. Beautiful, plus the instructions. You get everything you need by your hook. You don't get your hook. And what? Oh, yeah, and your clothes to wear it underneath. Right, last but not least, here we go. It's lovely and soft, I have to say that. So this one's called teal. Lovely. Oh, these are beautiful colours, aren't they? Right, so you get the 3 balls of yarn, plus your instructions. No hook. We'll talk about hooks in a second. Now, the only other thing I've got to show you right at the beginning. Now, last time I showed these, they all sold out. So I need to show you them very quickly. These. Will you be using these during your demonstration? Right, you can see them being used during the demonstration. These are stitch marker set. There's all different stitch markers in there. And a little storage pot, look, that comes in. $14.99. Okay, I'm going to not do crochet hooks until I interrupt with what crochet hook is being used at the time. Hello, welcome back. It's lovely to see you. I can't tell you how much love we got for you last time you were on. It was
so
just,
lovely.
I mean, everyone is loving Yard Lane, but you got so much afterwards, because the messages come in when people are watching it later. There's so much love coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Right, okay, so first of all, you're wearing the teal cowl.
I'm wearing the teal cowl, yes.
These are the 2 other Dreamcatchers.
Yes.
So I've got Rainbow.
Yeah.
And you've got Raspberry Riot.
So this one's Sunset Pink.
Sunset Pink
Raspberry
even.
Riot is
there's too many colours,
Yeah.
many colours, right.
Oh.
Yeah, you stand still, he'll find you, don't worry.
And then there's the sea blues.
Righty-ho.
So that's
gorgeous.
Those are the 3 colours.
Sea blue is the most popular so far, just so you know.
Is it? Oh,
yep.
how lovely.
They all went on pre-order. Everything's on pre-order. Well, no, it's not on pre-order. It's now all on the website, ready for you to buy. Right, okay. So what is this skill then, this one?
So this is the crochet, and you sometimes see this called a mandala or mandala. I'm not
Okay,
sure how to say
yes,
it. So you make your circular bit to go in the middle, and then you sew it onto your frame, your hoop.
Okay, so you don't make it on the frame.
You don't make it on it, you sew it on.
separately.
That's right, you sew it on at the end.
Right.
So you start in the centre, and then you build it out,
Right,
and
okay.
you end up with a lovely mandala like that. So I'm going to demonstrate from the beginning.
Please. It's all yours now. I'll just interrupt. So you can do it in any, can you do it in the colours in any order you
Any
want
order you like, yeah. So I've all I've done in the pattern is show you the pictures of the orders I've gone in. I've left the colour choice up to you with all of them.
Okay, lovely.
So I'm starting with the rainbow when I'm demonstrating.
Right.
And so this is using a 3mm crochet hook. So that's really quite fine.
I was going to say it's tiny, this
Yeah,
one,
it's
isn't
absolutely
it?
tiny. So if you are new to it and you want to try it in a bigger hook, that's absolutely fine. You could start with a 4mm hook or something like that. So I've put 3mm hook in the pattern. Don't feel that you're completely restricted to that, because you can stop this building up the rounds of your mandala at any point you like.
Can I ask then, what would be the difference? So this is a 3 that you're
Yes,
suggesting.
yeah.
If I used a 4 or a 5, what would be the difference in my finished?
It's going to come up bigger. So if you use a bigger hook, what you're making is going to come up bigger.
Fine.
So it will be, you might need to stop a round or two earlier to sew it to your hoop. But the good thing is, because you sew it on at the end, you can make that decision then.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm using a 3mm hook so that you can see the sizing.
Perfect.
And I'm starting with pink in the middle because that's what I did on there. Okay, so you're going to start with a magic ring. So I did a magic ring last time I was here.
I just noticed that they're all different. It's not you're not going round and round and round doing the same thing. You're doing all different
Every
things.
round is different. So every round you're doing different combination of stitches.
Yeah.
So for your magic ring, you're going to put the tail in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bring this ball end, the bit that's attached to your ball,
Yeah.
around in a loop and cross it over.
Right.
And then just put your thumb on the bit where it's crossed. And then get your hook and put it through from the front, grab that ball end that's laying over your fingers and put it through so you've made a loop.
Right.
So this is how I start a slip knot as well, but don't pull everything tight like you would with a slip knot.
Okay.
Because this is your magic ring here.
Yeah.
So to finish it off, you're just going to make one chain just to secure it, like so. And that is your magic ring.
So does everything start with that?
No, either it will start with a foundation chain or a magic ring.
Foundation chain is just where you do one up, like you did
Exactly,
before, one
like
after the other,
I
one
showed
after.
you
I'm
last
learning,
time.
you see, I'm learning slowly, yeah. That's
So I
fine.
will do one of those later.
Okay, perfect.
But the magic ring, it's mainly if you're working in a round, and the good thing is you can pull the tail and you end up with no hole in the middle.
Perfect.
So I'm just going to put my pattern here just to make sure. Okay.
Did you write these patterns?
Okay, so you're going to do a chain 3 to start with.
Yeah.
So I've got into position, but I think there are bits of video to show you for anyone that's brand new to it that needs a reminder from last time.
Yeah.
So I'm just going straight from being in position, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3 chains in the air, and that's pretending to be a treble.
Right.
So then you're going to make some treble crochet stitches in the ring. So everything's working in this ring around this tangly bit here where these 2 pieces of yarn are tangled.
Right.
So if you're left-handed, these tangly bits will be on the other side.
Does it look exactly the same if you're left-handed or right-handed? Will the finished article
It will
be
look exactly the same.
Won't be a mirror image?
No, it will look exactly the same, but you'll work in an opposite direction.
Okay.
So where I'm right-handed, I'm going to work anti-clockwise. Left-handers would work clockwise around the ring. So now I'm going to make 11 trebles in the ring. So for a treble...
Can you just move your hands to the right a little bit?
Sorry.
Please? There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
For a treble, you go yarn over first.
Yeah.
And then you're pushing your hook into this ring, working underneath these 2 strands of yarn here.
Yeah.
Grabbing your yarn with your hook and pulling it back through. So you've got 3 loops on your hook. And for a treble stitch, you grab that yarn and you come through the first 2. And then you grab the yarn again and you come through the second 2.
So if it's a treble, why are you not going through all 3?
I think the treble describes the fact you end up with 3 loops on your hook.
Oh, okay, not the actual pulling
not the
through,
actual pulling through.
And also, we have to state that you use English terminology,
Yes,
not American,
that's right.
don't we?
Yes, American terminology is different, and a treble would be something different.
Yeah, right, okay.
This is a double crochet in American. Okay, so I'm going to make 11 of those.
Okay.
So I've done my chain 3 plus 1. So I'm going to speed up a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's fine, I'll
so
shut
I
up.
can move on a bit, just to explain that I'm not going at a slower pace now, but if you watch back how I did that very first stitch, you'll be able to see how I'm doing these. So I'm working some trebles into the ring.
Helen says, afternoon, Sam. Colleen says, it's such a pleasure to watch. Sam, you look lovely. So, no, I don't know why I said that surprisingly. I do apologise. Sam, you look lovely. So excited for the demo.
Oh.
Do you buy a bigger hoop if you want to go bigger?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And you
Okay,
could
perfect.
try a bigger yarn. That would be lovely.
Okay,
in
right.
your
I
bigger
won't
hoop.
interrupt anymore. I just
So-
need you to push your hands just slightly to the right for me a little
Sorry.
bit. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect,
So I've got my chain 3
Yeah.
and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so far. So then 9, 10, and then 11.
Yeah.
That chain 3 counts as one. So with your chain 3, you're looking to have 12 posts.
Right.
Now you're going to pull your tail to tighten up your magic ring. So you grab this tail here, hold on to your stitches so they don't twist.
Right.
Grab this tail and pull it, and you end up with no hole in the middle.
Right.
And that's where it's magic.
But you haven't done the whole circle yet, have you?
No, I'm going to seal it up now.
Okay.
So now you do a slip stitch to join it.
Right.
And the slip stitch goes in this 3 chain at the beginning here.
Yeah.
So you've got 1, 2, 3. In the 3rd chain up here, I'm going to make a slip stitch.
Right.
Now there's several different ways of doing this. I'm going to go easy today. The very easiest is just under 1 loop.
Right.
Middle is going under 2, so you push it in here and you twist it and see that you're going under 2 loops there, which is what I'm going to do. But just to show anyone who wants to be more precise, you want to go under this loop and this loop behind, so you mimic a stitch. But I'm just going to make it easy for myself and go through the chain there.
Yeah.
So basically jabbing it into the chain is fine.
Right.
And for a slip stitch, you grab the yarn and you come back through there and through the loop in your hook.
Okay.
And I'll just put that down so you can see that tiny circle. So you've made your little circle.
Right.
now.
Okay.
And that is the centre
Right.
of your mandala. Okay, so then you pull your yarn up. You're going to fasten it off because we're done with this colour.
Right.
So pull your hook up. I would like to go to about 12, 14 centimetres. And then you're just going to snip it at the top there. If I could just see what I've done with my scissors.
The scissors. I was
Excuse
going to
me.
say,
Oh,
there's
they
lots of
are.
scissors
They're
there.
fancy, aren't they? That's it. So snip it at the top there. Okay. Right, now there's other ways of fastening off yarn. That's just how I do it. And now you're going to move on to a new...
Can you hear that disc? Can you hear disco music? Listen. It's gone off now.
Stopped.
Right,
Okay.
so you leave that yarn sticking up like
You
that,
leave
right?
that like that and you will sew all of that in later. You'll weave it all in. Put it on a yarn needle and sew it all
That
in.
circle can't unravel itself, can it?
No, it won't come undone. But if you there were to discover that you'd made a mistake, you could undo it at this stage.
But I was frightened you'd leave it and it would all unravel by the time you came to
No,
the next
it
one.
won't
Okay.
come undone. Okay, so now I need to join a new colour, because every colour in the mandala is a new colour joined in a round.
Right.
So I'm going to start round 2 now, and I'm going to join in any of the stitches. So there's going to be a right side and a wrong side.
Oh, okay.
And you've got your V's facing up, and that's how you know you're on the right side.
Okay, brilliant.
So put your hook underneath any of the stitches. So the stitches are 2 strands of yarn like so, 1,
Yeah.
2. And to join the colour, this is how I do it. You're going to grab a loop of the new yarn, put that on your hook, whoops, like so. Pull that through so you've got a loop. And then making sure you're not working with this tail, you want to work with this ball end here. Make 1 chain to secure it.
Yeah.
And that's the new colour joined, and you'll do that every round when you join a new colour.
Right, but you didn't join where you left off your old
No,
one.
you can do that, but I like to join in a different stitch.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'm
But
just asking because I
no.
don't know. You know. Yeah.
So a little tip, I like to move away from where I've got my tail because otherwise it just gets in the way.
Yeah.
But you can join where you've fastened off.
Oh,
that's
okay,
fine.
right.
Okay, so for round 2,
But round 2 is just lots of little straight lines.
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. Round 2 is like spokes of a wheel.
Oh, I could do these. These are chain. Are they chain?
Well, there are chains in there.
Oh, okay.
You're getting the hang of this. So you do a chain 5 in the air.
Thank you. Chain 5 in the air. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, and then you make 1 treble in the next stitch, so find
Right.
your next V. And then, because this yarn is really fine, you might want to just hold, when you do your yarn over, just put your finger on the yarn there to
Yeah.
hold it. Under there, pull the yarn back through, gives you 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And then you do a chain 2, and you're doing a treble in the next stitch. So that's your repeat for this round.
Right.
And every round you'll get a pattern of repeats. So once
So
you've had
does
a
the
go,
treble cause the gap? What causes the
the
gap?
chain
then?
2 causes the gap
Oh, okay.
there.
Right, okay.
So that causes your spoke look to
Yeah.
it. So I'll just go round. So you do a chain 2, treble in the next one, and all the way around. So you'll end up with 12 trebles and 12 chain 2 spaces.
Right.
That's it. So coming round here, whoops, just a few more to do. And as you come up to your slip stitch, you know I skipped that bit where I fastened off.
Yeah.
Just be careful because it can look like 2 stitches. So it's always really tricky to know where to work with your slip stitch. So I'm going to go into this gap here. So I've done my chain through.
I've just realised on the finished thing, it just looks like a spoke, but you're actually doing open petals, aren't you? Because the next petals are going to go over the loops of those things. So you're not just, I thought you were just going to do 12 little spikes like that, but you're actually doing
the chain which joins
You've got
them.
it now, I've got it now.
So at the end here, you're going to slip stitch into that third one there. So you see I've made it easy for myself, my slip stitch there. And that's
Finish
your
the
spokes
colour.
done. Finish
So
the
did you knot
colour.
off at the end of the last one? Was it knotted off?
So I just do a slip stitch like this. So literally, I've slip stitched. Yes, I've slip stitched in there. I've pulled this up.
Then you can cut it off.
And then I can cut it off.
Yeah, perfect.
And the reason I do that is because I know that's the length of my tail that I will then weave in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's round 2 done.
Which looks completely different in the finished
yes,
thing. That's
because then you work over the top. So do you want me to go on to round 3?
Yeah, do round 3 and then we can go on to something else. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So for round 3,
Because they're all different. They are all
every single
different,
round
aren't they?
is different. Yeah.
Because you've got like a petal, then a heart, then a triangle, then a fan, then some little V's like legs, and then a big lovely yellow fan. So they're all slightly different, aren't they?
Yes, and with the pattern, I've shown you where to join the yarn each time. So every round, I've done a picture to show you where to join it.
Perfect.
And then a picture of the first few stitches. So hopefully you can get the idea from the diagrams of how each round works.
Yeah.
So for round 3,
Yeah.
you're joining in any of the chain 2 spaces. So it doesn't matter which one, any of these gaps.
Yes.
Again, you put your hook under the gap, grab the new yarn, pull a loop of it through, and then make 1 chain with that ball end. And that's just to secure it, so that's joined it.
Uh-huh.
And then you do chain 3. So when you're working with trebles, that chain 3 is pretending to be a treble every time.
Just pretending.
Pretending. A fake treble. And then you make 2 trebles in that same space. So if you're fairly new to crochet and you're finding that bit at the end where you have to work into that third of that 3 chain,
Yeah.
I always do a slip stitch in there to secure it. You could put a stitch marker in there at this stage. So I'll just show you what I mean by that. So this is often a tricky bit for people, is finding where that third of that 3 chain is. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So at this stage, put a stitch marker underneath.
Oh, stitch markers. There you go.
Underneath there. And I've put it underneath the absolute best place to slip stitch it. It doesn't really matter, but that makes it very precise. And that's it. So you can see, if you leave that there, when you come around to the end and you slip stitch it, you've got that handy stitch marker showing you where to put your slip stitch.
Are the only stitches in this then chain, chain, treble, chain?
The odd double crochet as well.
I haven't come across a double crochet.
When you get further along.
No.
Yes, you're right.
Because I was looking at the knitting pattern for the first time the other day, and I was like, but I can follow this because it's actually going, join new colour in chain 3, make 2 trebles in Spain, chain same. So I can understand.
Brilliant.
The knitting one. I might not be able to do them, but I can understand what is expected next.
The logic there. Yeah. So yes, it is. It's just trebles, chains, and when you get further onto the pattern, there's a few double crochets. So stitches that you'll be really familiar with.
Yellow says, crochet is such a mindful thing to do. I love it.
It is. Yeah. It's really good for the mind, finding a bit of space for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so then you do a chain 2, and then you're doing 3 trebles in the next gap, which is your chain 2 space, and that's where you hide that chain 2 that you were noticing about.
Yeah.
Oops, lost my stitches. Okay, so 3 in there, and then a chain 2, and you continue that all the way around for round 3, and I've got loads of tails there. You can weave those in at any point, but I have done a little to show you. Here's the one I made earlier. So this is up to round 5, so you can see those yellows there.
Yeah.
By doing 3 trebles in every gap and then a chain 2, you get them spread out like that.
Yeah.
And you get the idea that you build it up with these patterns of stitches.
Colours are gorgeous, aren't they?
Really good. Yeah, I love the rainbow colours.
Okay, so how do you know? So the pattern tells you to get to this last round here,
So it's up to round 10. You've got 10 rounds in total.
Right.
And then
is that it? Is that 10 rounds in total?
So that is the 10 rounds in total. So just keep a little eye on how this is fitting into your hoop.
Right.
So mine fits with about a centimetre and a half to spare on the diameter, which gives you a bit of stretch. So if yours is coming up too small or smaller than that, it doesn't matter because it stretches loads.
Yes.
If yours is coming up bigger, you might want to try taking a round out, and I've written that into the pattern.
Perfect.
So you can play about with the
Oh
size.
yeah, because if you don't want it too big, it's not going to stretch
You
into
don't
the
want it to
shape,
be sort
is
of flopping about
Yeah.
in there. You need a bit of stretch on there. And then all I did was I threaded a long piece of yarn onto a needle, and then I went around and around. Let me just find my needle. It's
Oh, you haven't got
here.
to thread one, have
Oh,
you?
I haven't. Oh, I will. Yeah. And then what you do is you thread that onto your needle, and then tie a knot. So don't often tie knots, but
Yeah.
I did for this. Tie a knot. So you've got your end of yarn here.
Right.
Knot it onto the top of your mandala hoop like that. And then you're going to come, you've got a really long piece of yarn, as you can see. Tie that in a double knot if you can.
Yeah.
And then over the top and into there's 9 trebles. It'll talk you through this in the pattern, but there's 9 trebles here.
Yeah.
So you're going into the 5th one,
The middle one.
the middle one, exactly. And pulling that, and you're going to go all the way around it, doing the same thing again.
Oh, you only go through it once.
Only go through it once.
So it's like a great big slip stitch.
It
then.
is, yeah. You're literally just stitching it to the hoop.
Right.
And you go all the way around doing that. And then when you get to the end here,
Yeah.
turn around and come back in the opposite direction.
Oh, okay. Right.
So you do end up going around twice,
Yeah.
and that gives you this kind of overlap look to it here.
Brilliant.
So it kind of doubles back.
Blue is the most popular.
Oh,
Blue is
good.
the most popular of the 3.
And then I've put the beads in, so you've
Yeah.
got the beads in there. So I've gone through all of this in the pattern,
Yeah.
but you can make your little tassels, you thread your beads onto some yarn, and you can hang those from the
So
bottom.
you can make all of that, the tassel and the
everything. You've got
from
enough
the-
yarn to make all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And how have you attached your dangly bits
I
to the
have
thing?
literally just tied knots.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I did put a little bit of a dot of the glue on each one to hold it. I know.
The glue.
Uh,
What
the
glue? do you use?
I use my glue gun. I love my glue
Okay,
gun.
no, that's fine.
Yeah,
just so we know. Just so we
just
know,
a
yeah.
little dab of glue at the bottom of each one, just to be
Oh yeah, because
ultra
otherwise
sure
they'd
it
all
would
they'd all.
stay. Exactly. I didn't want to slip, and also I didn't want one to fall off.
And
So-
also, do you make a hoop for the top to hang it on, or could you make a hoop?
you
for the
can
top
do,
to
yeah.
hang
You
it
could
on?
do a chain and just tie that up,
Yeah.
or anything like that. Just a loop of yarn.
Perfect.
So yeah, or just hang
Gorgeous.
it on a nail.
More than half the stock of the blue one has gone. That's in the lead, and then followed very closely by the 2 other colours, the
Oh,
rainbow and the
that's
pink.
good.
Okay, shall we move on to the recycled disco T-shirt
Yes.
bowl? I don't know why we called it that now. Hannah called it that when it's got stuck. So now you could make one big one
Yeah.
or 2 smaller ones out of
Two-
everything that's in
2
here.
like
couldn't you?
this. Yeah. So you've got one big ball of yarn.
Yeah.
I'll just pull mine out to show you. Here. And it's 700 grams roughly, or
Right.
120 metres.
And it's called spaghetti. Is that what the...
Yeah, with a Z,
Yes,
spaghetti. I'm never quite
spaghetti.
sure I'd say it. Hook spaghetti, yeah. So, and it's made from recycled T-shirt yarn, so it's made from the ends of the T-shirt making process.
So it's not old T-shirts.
It's not old
I
T-shirts.
said...
They've not been worn.
No, I said, oh, they should just go to the factory and use the bits left over. And everyone
That is what they've done.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right then.
So they gather up, I don't know how, I just in my imagination, they gather up all the ends of the process of making the T-shirts and they cut them all up into yarn.
Yeah.
That's why, although they're called mints, you might get slight variations in the shade.
Yeah, because this one's slightly bluer than
That
that
one's
one. But
slightly
it's
bluer.
we're not gonna order a mint one and get a pink one. You
no,
will get one of
you'll
the
get
colourway.
something which is the shade of mint. It might be slightly darker. There's very little in it. I made the kits up, so I can tell you there's very little difference in it. This is a different pink to the one you
I was
get
going to
in
say
the
we've got a
kits.
bright fuchsia
You've
pink
got
in ours.
all
haven't
of the
we?
pinks in the kit are that lovely hot pink.
Okay, perfect.
So yes.
And now, how do they join it together then? Has it got knots in it?
very occasionally you come across a knot, but not
Oh
often.
no, but it'll be from the not the selvage, but it'll just be from a bolt. Because
would-
it's in the T-shirt factory, they've got
Yeah,
hundreds and
exactly,
hundreds and hundreds of meters,
exactly.
and it's the bit that shaves
the
off
bit
the
that's
edges.
not big enough to make more T-shirts from or
Exactly,
something.
got it.
Yeah. So, and for that reason, I guess they only have a limited number, so
Yes.
they kind of categorise it into mints, but some of them vary slightly. Also, the thickness can vary slightly. It's
Oh, can
really
it?
exciting stuff to work with because the thickness can vary slightly from
okay.
ball to ball. So, in the pattern, I've written 2 sizes. I've written a size to make the large one.
I'm going to get my 3 colours out because you've got a pale pink and a pale grey and
Yes.
everything. So I'll just get the 3 colours that I've got out so people can see what the choices are. Right, okay.
So you've got the pattern to make a really large one, like that one you've got on there,
Yeah.
which is approximately 30 centimetres in diameter.
Right.
And you've also got the pattern to make the smaller one. So basically, if you start making the base of your, I'll show you, you've got a base here.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to do it in a sec, but if you start making the base of your basket, you can go as big as you like or as small as you like. So
But you can't go any bigger than your pattern because your
Well,
pattern is only make the biggest one.
my pattern is to make the biggest one, but I have also included instructions to go bigger if you have enough yarn.
Okay.
Or
right.
because you might want a shallower basket or something.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
have actually included instructions to go a bit bigger than this as well.
Right.
Because, as I say, because the thickness of everyone varies slightly, the size of the basket will vary slightly.
Of course.
I can't guarantee
Oh yeah,
the
no, you
sizes,
can't
but
guarantee it's going to be exactly.
But yeah, but you can play about. Then if you've got a slightly thinner yarn, you might want to make it bigger, etc.
Yeah. So you can make the base bigger, but
Yeah.
then make the sides shallower if you
Exactly.
wanted like a
Yeah.
tray sort of
like
shape.
a cat bed or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you could be really flexible with how you make it. So that's the base of the biggest one.
Okay.
Okay. So
I just need to stress the pink you're buying isn't that pink there, it's this pink here.
yeah, it's that hot. I couldn't get any more of that from my
No,
demonstration.
no, no,
while
it's
it
fine.
had
It's
gone,
just that
but
people,
yes,
if
that's
somebody
the-
tunes in now and go,
yeah,
oh, that pink's
this is-
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's that hot pink
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
There you go. It's this pink that you'll get if you buy our pink. Or a colour near that, it won't be a pale pink.
It'll be a bright, they're definitely all bright pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, what hook are you using? Because this looks like a monster, this
12mm hook. Yes, so really big. That one's 12 as well.
12mm hook. Now, this looks, compared to that first one you just used, this looks like...
You've got the opposite extremes here. Yeah. So you can see how you can use your fine hook for your fine yarn and your big hook for your big yarn.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All hooks are available on the website. All different size hooks are available on the website. But this one looks like it's made of wood, is it?
That one is, yeah, as far as I understand. It looks like, is it bamboo?
Birch.
Birch, okay.
Birch. Okay, right. Carry on.
Okay, so this one also starts with a magic ring.
Right.
So you'll be able to see it on a bigger scale now. So again, tail in the palm of your hand, loop that ball end over to make your loop, put your thumb on the bit where it's crossed, hook goes through from the front, grabs that yarn and pulls it through, and then you're going to make one chain to secure it. So you see it all on a much bigger scale with
Well,
this
I was
one.
going to say, if you've never, ever, ever done it before, would this be the easier way to learn?
Yes, if you're new to it, this is going to be a little bit more straightforward than the Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
And but if you're not, if you're not new, it's such fun to work
Oh
with.
yeah,
But
yes. I'm just
you're
thinking of
quite
people
right.
who are learning to
Yeah.
do a double and a treble and a
Yeah,
chain. If it's that
absolutely.
big, they can see it a
It's a
bit better.
brilliant
can't they?
scale to work on if you're
Yeah.
new to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your magic ring, and then you're going to make 8 half trebles in this ring.
Yeah.
So you're going to put your yarn over your hook, go into, again, working underneath these 2 strands of yarn here, pull the yarn back through, and then for a half treble, you grab your yarn and you come through both of them.
Yeah.
So this is made in the amigurumi technique, which is what we talked about last time I
Yes.
was here with you, the Christmas pudding. But it's slightly different because it's half trebles, not doubles. But we are working a spiral like we did with the Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
So 1 half treble so far, and I'm going to do 8 of those. So let's just pull that tail, tighten it a bit. Okay, so 2, and you can see everything is on such a big scale with
Yeah.
this compared to what we just did. 3.
Susan says she's got 3
4.
crocheting projects on the go all at once.
Oh wow, sounds like me.
Sam is the best teacher ever, patient, kind and calm. I've never had a pattern from Sam that I haven't been able to do.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
was from Terry Ann.
Aw, Terry Ann.
Andrea says, I've made lots of these baskets, they're so handy. Lo says, this is her favourite thing to crochet with, the t-shirt.
Oh, it's really fun. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you do 8 half trebles. Okay, and then before I pull the tail, I'm going to get a stitch marker out, and I'm going to mark that 8th one, because with amigurumi you can lose track of where you are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just put that underneath there like so. So I know, now some people mark the first stitch, that's absolutely fine too, but I like to mark the last stitch so I know when I get to the last stitch of the round.
Right,
Now I'm pulling that tail to tighten it up.
right.
So you've got no hole in the middle, which is the magic of your magic ring. And then you're going to work stitches into this first half treble you made.
Right.
So if you've lost track of where that is, you can count back round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But you could put a different coloured one marker in there, so
Yeah.
you know where your first
Yes,
one is.
exactly. If you want to, those stitch markers are brilliant for anyone who's newish to crochet.
Yeah.
They're so helpful. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 half trebles. For the second round, like with the other amigurumi projects, you've got an increase. So it's yarn over, and you can see you've got 2 strands of your V here. I'm going under those, pulling the yarn back through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over through all 3. And I want to do another one in there, a second one in there, because it's an increase round. So that's my second one.
Right.
And then I'm going to do 2 in every one around. So you've got that increase every round with this one.
Do you pull any tension on the spaghetti, or do you just let it hang naturally?
With this, often when I'm crocheting, I let my ball of wool roll around underneath the table.
Okay.
But with this, I would really recommend have it on the same surface as you're working at, because you'll have noticed I'm pulling it off like this.
Yes, yeah.
It's so heavy, otherwise it will hurt your arms and your hands pulling it through. So have it up on the surface you're working and just pull a few metres off at a time, ready to work with it.
Perfect.
Little tip for that. Okay, so 2 half trebles into every stitch around. And that will take me all the way around, so that where I had 8 to start with, I'm going to end up with 16 by the time I get round to my last stitch. And the brilliant thing about this yarn is it just grows so quickly, and I am working quickly, I'm aware of that. So if you're watching back, if you watch how I did that first half treble, I'm doing a half treble into every stitch around. 2 half trebles, in fact, into every stitch around. So I'm now coming up to the one that's got the stitch marker in it. And I'm going to take the stitch marker out and make 2 half trebles in there. So I've done 2 half trebles in every stitch around. And I just need to take this one out, so I know that's my last stitch, and make 2 half trebles in there. Roll off some more of that yarn. And so, as I said, this will mean I've got 16 stitches. So with amigurumi, it's really helpful to count your stitches every round, just to keep track of where you are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a stitch marker underneath that last one again. And when you count round, you'll find that's your number 16. So that's the second round.
Right.
So for your amigurumi technique, you now continue your pattern of repeats. So for the next round, you're going to put 1 half treble in the first stitch and 2 into the next.
Right.
And that first stitch gets tucked a bit down, kind of lower than you're working at. So you've got that kind of snail shell spiral to it here.
Yeah.
So 1 half treble goes in there. And then in the next stitch, I put 2. And then it's going to be the repeat all the way around. Right. 1 in the next, 2 in the following. So every round, you have a pattern of increases to follow that builds up your shape of your flat base of your basket. Just going to pull that out there. So it's 1 in the next, 2 in the following, all the way around. And you can easily lose track of this, so don't panic if you do. What I would do is just go back to the beginning. So I'd go back to this stitch after the stitch marker, and just check through, make sure I followed the pattern of 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Because you can easily find you've missed a stitch or gained a stitch. But it's better if you're doing it nice and quietly and counting to yourself rather than. That's it. So 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. So again, you've added 8 stitches, so you'll have your 24 this round. And I'll just get to the end so you can see how that's growing.
Yeah. Grey is the most popular of the 3 colours.
Oh, it is a nice grey.
Well, that's, I think, there's a lot of people are decorating. John and Chris next door, they've just painted their rooms upstairs in a lovely grey colour. So it's going to be very popular, on trend, isn't it?
And it's brilliant for having, I've taught this quite a lot, and people use them for so many different things. So they use the baskets for so many different things, like holding toiletries or toilet rolls.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking of logs, actually. Some logs, clean logs.
Yeah, lovely. Or if you're obviously if you're craft supplies.
Oh, yes, of course.
Children's bedrooms. And they've been really popular thing to make for Christmas presents, like as little hampers with loads of different Christmas bits in.
Okay, I'm just saying, we've got 5 more minutes left on this project before we need to go on to the next project.
Okay, so that's, what you do is you follow on that, you continue on that pattern of repeats. So that one I've got 24 stitches. For the next round, you'll do 1 into the next, 1 in the following, and then 2 in the next. So every round you have 1 more single in between your increases. And that's how you can build it up to be as big as you like, or have it as small as you like. So just to show you again, this is the big one. That's gone on up until round 7, and that's all written in the pattern. And I have also included if you want to do another couple of rounds.
Yeah.
So you get to this stage.
So we can make one big one or 2 of those smaller ones. That's all in the pattern. But then once you know how to do it, you can make them any size you want. Really.
Exactly. So when you've got to the size of base that you want, which you can choose, and you know you can make a decision as you go along. You think that will serve my purpose nicely. I'll stop there. Then you're going to do a round where you do half trebles into the back loop of the stitches. So you're doing the same stitch, but you're going to do yarn over, and instead of going underneath both strands of the stitch there, you're just going into the back loop of the V.
Okay.
So you've got the front loop and the back loop. So you're just going to put 1 half treble into the back loop of every one around.
Now you've only got a tiny bit of...
Yes.
Should it be attached to your ball still?
I fastened off actually at this point. It might be a useful way to show you how to change colour if you're running out of a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
So what you need to do, if you get to the end of something, or if you do come across a knot in it and you don't like it, you want to cut it out. When you get to the stage where you're about to finish your stitch, so for me I'm doing a half treble, I've got 3 loops on my hook and I'm about to finish it, just pull through a strand of the new colour, and then you can leave your tails behind here, and you're ready and you can weave those in at the end, but you're ready to work in on your colour.
Okay, oh, so that's
really
simple.
Straightforward. Yeah. So I'm doing 1 half treble. I'll just do a few more just to show you the impact this has. So 1 half treble into every back loop. Now you just do this for 1 round, and what it does, it makes a ridge at the bottom of your basket.
Okay.
Where you've got that 1 loop there.
Yeah.
And that's
this bit here.
That's it. And then that becomes the bit that you sit your base on.
Right.
So just a sort of note when you come to make your basket, at the moment, my tail is on the other side. So that's actually going to sit in the centre of the basket, and the sides start to build up like this.
So you don't do it separately?
No, it's all one piece.
All one piece, but it just starts going upwards that way rather than going round flat.
So by putting 1 into every one around, it starts to cup upwards into a basket shape. So the very first round of doing that, I go into the back loops because it makes that nice ridge and helps to shape the basket. So I would just continue that around until I get to the end of this round. And then after that, it's just 1 half treble into every stitch. And that's where you can make the basket as tall as you like. And you can be kind of making a judgment as to how much yarn you've got left.
And I'm presuming where the handles are, do you cast off and, I don't know if we call it casting off, but...
For the handles, all you do literally, as you're working around, you've got to the height that you want your basket to be, you do a chain. So you do a chain of 4. And again, this is all written in the pattern, and you've even got a little formula to use if you change the size of your pattern. You skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you make a half treble next. So you really can just continue on using the same piece.
Yes. So basically, you've just created a slot, and then on the next round you go full round, full round, full round.
Into that, yeah. And when you come round to this bit, you make half trebles in there. So
brilliant. Okay, then let's move on to a cowl now.
Okay.
So you're wearing the teal one. The graphics are in for the teal one, and we've also got this one in double denim and raspberry surprise. No.
Raspberry riot.
Riot.
Yeah, which is this one here.
Oh, you've got it there. Yeah. I was looking for it, thinking, where is it?
Where is it? Yeah. So this is, as you said, an infinity scarf. I've called it a cowl, and it's long enough to wrap round your neck twice, but you can make it as long or short as you like. So you're going to work in a rectangle, and you can just stop at the size that you want to. So I'll just show you a little swatch that I made up here. Yeah. And so that shows you that...
I've just got to say you've got 10 minutes for this demo.
So just to show you that the length here is the width of your cowl. So then you're just going to make a really long scarf type shape and sew it together. So you can choose whether you want it to be just 1 width around your neck or 2. Sorry. And so it's really lovely soft. This yarn is so soft. It's really comfortable.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I found that when I was putting that one on earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So for this one, you're using an 8mm hook, which is actually a little bit bigger than you normally would for a chunky yarn.
Oh, is it?
So the reason I've done that is because it makes it all really drapey. So you want your cowl to drape. So I've gone for a slightly bigger hook than you'd normally use for chunky.
There you go. Right.
Okay, and then you're going to make a chain for this one. So whereas with the other two makes we did a magic circle, we're back to making a chain this time. So this is where you want to put your slip knot on your hook first of all. So like with the magic ring, tear in the palm of your hand, make a loop, put your hook through.
But this one you tighten it off.
And that's exactly it. You tighten it up this
Excuse
time.
me, excuse me, slip knot.
That's it. And then you're going to make 27 chains. So I'm going to do them quickly. This is what if you're a beginner, this is the bit that you practice really, because this is really handy for getting attention and your hold.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm just going to keep going until I've got 27.
Oh.
And that will give us the width of the cowl. So that gives you that width there.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's here. There's a join.
Yes, that's it. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, so 27.
So it's just 27. Yeah, that's it. And then you've got your chain like so, and you're going to make stitches into the 5th chain along. So you've got the one on your hook, which never counts.
Right.
And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You skip those 4 chains and you find the 5th one.
Right.
And into that 5th one, you're going to make, to start with, a treble.
And is this to make the lace effect sort of thing?
Exactly, yeah. And also because by skipping these, you know we talked about how a 3 chain is a fake treble?
Yes.
That's pretending to be a treble and a chain 1.
Right.
Okay.
But it's fake.
So a fake treble, yeah. Okay, so you're doing a treble, so yarn over. Now I like to just go under 1 loop. You can go under 2 if you want it tighter, but for demonstrating and for people who are fairly new,
I'm lost now.
You're going to go under just that 1 loop of that chain there. And you're going to go under there, pull the yarn back through, giving you 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's 1 treble made. But for this pattern, in that same space, you're putting 2 trebles. So another treble goes in that same chain. And then you're doing a chain 1 in the air. And then you're doing another 2 trebles back in that same chain. And this is where you get that kind of lacy look, because it's like a little shell stitch. So if I hold it like that, you can see you get this sort of little shell stitch to it. So you've got your bit that you skipped, 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles.
Right, yeah.
And then you're going to skip 3 stitches on your chain, so 3 chains. So just be careful, because this little one here, next to where you've worked, can get pulled a bit tight.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, and find the 4th one along, and you do the same thing again in there.
Right. So they're not all. So the first one was 5, wasn't it? But now there's only 3 on.
So
this
now
one.
you're skipping 3. That was because you had that thing of the 3 chain pretending to be a treble.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Now we're just skipping 3 to make a gap. So I'm putting 2 trebles, chain 1.
Just plain old gap, this one.
Yeah, and 2 trebles in there. So that's another shell made in that same space. And then that's your repeat all the way along. So then you're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3. And then in the 4th one along, make another one of those.
Gap.
Another gap, and then...
We want it to have a romantic name. We don't like the name
Gap.
Gap.
Doesn't sound very kind, does it? The 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles.
Ginny says, I'm loving the demos. I've sat watching whilst teaching myself how to do entelek to make a baby blanket.
Entrelac, I think that's like a Tunisian crochet technique, as far as I know. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th another one. So,
so the 5 was only the first one.
It's only the
others
first
are 3.
one. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so and in there I'm putting my same thing again. So I've called it a shell stitch. 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles. So you're going to do that all the way along, and you'll end up with 6 of those little shells. I have actually remembered to bring here's one I made earlier.
Oh, good, because I've only got 2 minutes.
Okay, so you get to the end.
Right.
And when you've got your 6 shells, you then have 2 chains left, 1, 2.
Right.
So in that second one, you skip 1 this time, and you make a treble in there. So you've got your little row of 6 shells.
Right.
Then you do a chain 3 in the air, and you turn it over, and then you're going to work along. And again, you could mark this third of this 3 chain with a stitch marker to help you, because you'll need to work in that.
Yeah.
You're going to work along and make a shell stitch in every chain 1 space along. So you skip over these 2, and you find that chain 1 space that you just made here in that last shell, and just going into the hole it makes, you make 2 trebles, and then a chain 1, and then 2 trebles. And that's the pattern. That is all there is to the pattern, is that you're going to make a shell stitch on top of every shell stitch.
Right, so do we now go to the gap?
Yes, next gap.
So it's something fussy at the end, and then gap, 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 gap.
Exactly, fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
So from there, across to the next gap. So it's a big jump, it's 4 trebles worth that you skip. And then in there, 2 trebles. Oops. Chain 1 and another 2 trebles.
Right.
And that is literally all there is to the pattern.
Oh, okay.
Continuing that repeat, a shell stitch in every chain 1 gap.
Right.
All the way to the end. And then when you've got your chain 3, there's clear instructions about this in the pattern, but you make a treble in the top of that chain 3.
Right.
So a really good tip if you're getting used to the pattern or new to crochet is when you do that first 3 chain at the beginning of the row, is to mark the 3rd one with a stitch marker. Because then when you come along again to that point, you need to make a treble in it.
Of course. So you end up with a really, really long...
Really long. I measured it. It's about 2 metres.
Okay. So then how do you then get...
So then I just sewed it together, actually.
Oh, okay.
I just left myself a really long tail.
Hang on, at the end, at the far end,
Yeah.
is it the same as the beginning bit?
Yeah.
So you finish it off?
Fasten it off like that,
Yes.
but leave a longer bit,
Right.
and then use that long bit to sew it together.
Oh, okay, okay.
You
So
can
both ends are completely finished,
Yeah.
and then use the long bit that's attached to it to then...
To then sew through and make sure it's all closed up as you like it. You can crochet it or slip stitch it also, but I just sewed it to make sure that all the holes I wanted closed up were closed
Oh,
up.
okay, okay. But you can
So
crochet if you're
you can
experienced
crochet. If
you
you
can
like
crochet.
crocheting, yeah. If you prefer crocheting to sewing,
The thing
when
is
it
that you're
comes
never
to doing
going to...
things like that.
It's going to be at the back of your neck or everything,
Yeah, exactly.
and you can't
get a
see
little
it
seam.
anyway,
You
can
just get a little seam that you then put at the back of your neck.
Brilliant.
Yes.
That was so fantastic. I'm sorry, it feels so rushed, doesn't it, the 1 hour? But that is absolutely brilliant. Do you know when you're in next?
Yes, in December, 9th, I think.
9th December. Fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much. I've just got to do a roundup. Right. Very quickly with the cowls, right? So I've got the 3 different colours. I've got teal, which is, the one we've just been working with, the one you're wearing. Yeah, the teal one there at £34.19. You get the instructions and 3 balls of yarn, no hook, no crochet hook, right? Then we've got the denim one, which is this one. Again, you get the 3 balls of yarn and the instructions and the lovely little calico bag. Okay, on the website, they're all photographed with the denim with a little round dot saying what colour it is. Oh, it's got a picture of the yarn next to it. So that's nice. We keep the same theme going through. Yeah, and then last but not least, the Raspberry Riot, which is, you got Raspberry Riot over there? Yeah, Raspberry Riot. It's gorgeous. That colour is fabulous, isn't it? 3 balls of yarn plus your instructions. No hook, remember, no hook. And that was a size 8 hook. That was a size 8 hook for that one. Baskets. Right, now I will show you the colours for these. I'm going to start with grey, which is this one here. Right, okay, and that's obviously it's in a plastic bag. I'm not going to get that. There's, you've got that lovely mid-grey, which was the most popular while we were doing the show. Still the most popular. That is spaghetti. You get that and the instructions. You only need 1 of these to make 1 big basket or 2 smaller baskets, or if you know what you're doing, whatever you want with it really. But you do get the instructions with that, £34.99. Now we're going to mint. Now this is where you see this and this are slightly different. This is there's a variation in colour, but it will be around the minty colour. Whether it's more aqua or more minty, it will be around that colourway. £34.99 plus the instructions. Okay. Now then, it also comes in pink. This isn't a lovely. Well, I love this colour myself, but you kind of like it's a really lovely, like a fuchsia pink. This one, not a soft, delicate pink. You see, my bathroom's painted that colour. So it'd be nice little baskets in that colour. Had she made any in that colour, they, you know, could have gone in my bathroom. Put my toilet bowls in it, couldn't I? Because I've got my I've got my grey floor with sparkle in it, so it could sit on the grey sparkly floor. Right, and on that one you used a huge whopping great 12 crochet hook. That one was made of birch or beech or something like that. Then we've got the Dreamcatchers. Blue one first. Blue one first. Oh, yeah, if you hold that. Can you see that, Paul? If you hold that. Put it flat on the table for me. But to the right, that's it. That's it. Perfect, perfect, perfect there. That's the blue one. Sue says she's been crocheting for years and the mandala demo was so easy to follow. Thank you very much indeed. So that's the blue one. Then the sunset pink. Yeah, there's the sunset pink one. Now, the sunset pink one's got an antique-y feeling to it, hasn't it? Nice. Oh, now in real life, let me just tell you, in real life, the colours are brighter than they are that they're looking on your telly. They're kind of got more brick and red in there as well. Okay, and then last but not least, the one I've got, which is the rainbow. Paint the whole world with the rainbow. $24.99. It's lovely, isn't it? You get the hoop as well. So you get the yarn, the hoop, and the beads all in there for $24.99. And you need a skinny little hook for this one. 3 or a 4. You could do a 4, but the 3 is used to do this one. Oh, there's only 3 left. There's only 3 of those left at 5 to 1 on Wednesday. Right. Do I do a menu? No. I have to say that Yarn Lane is back on Friday with Vix, I presume. Vix will be on Friday. Anyway. Oh, it's not, is it Black? It's not Black Friday yet. Oh, it's on Saturday this week. That's not me. Revisiting Kit's book, so it'll be, I think that's Vix as well. Anyway, thank you so much indeed. Sorry it feels so rushed. Thank you for watching. I know you're loving watching Yarn Lane. I am back on Sewing Street on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday next week. I'll see you then. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your company and keep shopping.